To really, we still got a ways to go in that, but it's really starting to come out of his shell and be a leader that way.
Who will you be working at tight end this spring?
Of course, Jabars, Bo will be out there some. Will Ty, boy, that's another one now. You talk about changing his body and his jumped out there. I'm extremely pleased with the way he's running. He's carrying that weight well, and he runs as good as any of our big athletic guys, including the Christian Joneses and them of the world. Changing direction, running, doing all those things. Tank Sessions will be out there some, you know. And then, of course, Johnson, our walk-on, you know, John Johnson, he can carry a role in some blocking things and athletic, caught a few balls here and there. But I'm anxious to see some of those guys. Javaris has really had a good offseason, best offseason he's had. Bo's been working on some academic stuff. He's starting to get worked out now, and we'll keep that going. And then Will Ty, and I'm anxious to really see Will. I think Will can be a big-time player. I really do. I think he's got a chance to be. He's controlling that body now and got that weight. He's impressive looking, strong and athletic.
When you approach Joyner about moving, changing positions, is he?
Heck yeah, Joyner wants to play. Oh, he's great. Wants to play. Wants to get on the field and play. And quickest way to get on there. Learn different positions, and he plays nickel and dime and all that. I mean, that guy got one thing. 111 miles an hour. That's all he knows. I mean, he don't know. You can't tell him, go 3/4 speed on this. He does not understand that. Doesn't, which is a good thing. We're going to say, well, then giddy up. But he's been wonderful about it. Never really, except studying film all the time. You've seen him, coming in on his own, studying film and looking, and been a super kid. Been fun. He's a fun kid to be around, Coach. He really is.
Will you use Harris similar as you did last year then?
Yeah, and he'll still play some out, but we're going to get him mixed in outside too. You know what I mean? We got to get him out there and play some corner because he came in late, you know what I mean, and getting that established. But he established that, so he'll play outside and inside. I mean, he'll be a nickel and a dime, which is good things, but he'll be an outside. He'll play outside a lot too. And some things we'll do.
Can you talk us through the defensive line? Who may be missing this spring?
Jacoby will be out because that's surgery. But Amp's really. He had a little minor knee surgery and also cleaned up some stuff in the last 2 weeks. Boy, he's really looked good. He can run. He's athletic, doing some really effort to be there. Moses, he'll get back in the spring as he's nursing those injuries back up. McAllister's had a really good offseason being there. Cam Irving, McAllister, and I'm going to speak about McAllister, he has bulked up about 288, 90 pounds right now and is moving better than he ever did at 260. Running well, carrying it well. It's in the right places, and he is really mature. I'm anxious to see what he does this spring. I really am. I'm anxious to see him this spring. Darius Cummings changed his body, did in really good shape, had a really good offseason. Cam Irving is a guy, another big body, athletic for a big guy. I mean, he's 6'5", 305-pound man, but he's athletic, can bend, and going to be a good player in there. So those guys there, the biggest one, Jacoby, just be the guy being out right there.
And then
Moses may miss some early, and hopefully he'll get back in as he goes. We need to get him back in there. But that'll be a good group. I mean, good players in there.
Just the way that you're talking, Coach, it really seems that your players really took the offseason very seriously, bulked up what they needed to do. I mean, we were talking to Christian Jones, and he said that you guys have kind of been going. It doesn't seem like you guys are back into anything.
No, it's just what they do. It's becoming a habit to come to work every day. Go do my work, go do the things I do, and they don't know any different. It's developing great work habits, because I tell them all the time, when pressure comes, habits come straight to the surface. So what you do on a day-to-day basis and the way you act and the way you carry yourself, and what I've been the most pleased with, in our summer, we haven't missed, not one player has missed a weight workout in the last 2.5 months. Not one workout. I don't know if I've ever been on a team that's done that. And I'm not saying it means we're going to win 11, 12, 13, 14 games. I don't know that. But the attitude is right. All right, there in our conditioning drills, you guys were out there that day. You hear anybody griping, complaining, moaning about things? They go do the work. Somebody does something wrong, they get on it, boom, fix it, move on. They're focused and they understand it. This is the way it's going to be. This is what we're going to do. This is what the standards are that you're expected to live up to, and go about it. And that's what I've been the most pleased with. And that gets back to one word: attitude. Everybody talks about what's the new words of the year. Well, do the reasons you win change? Why you got to change your words? Attitude's the key to everything. I say that to our kids every day. Attitude is the key to life. How your attitude is and determines how well you do things. Talent's what you're capable of. Attitude determines how well you do it. And our attitudes have been super. They have done everything we've asked them to do. hopefully we'll continue to do that on the field.
Jimbo, controlling expectations, you kind of hinted at that, but you're most likely going into the season with expectations as high as they've been around here in a decade, and you just said 11, 12, 13 wins. I mean, that's pretty much going to be the expectation for FSU this year.
That's good. But what we're going to worry about is the expectation of winning each week. Once you break it down, you can't, if you sit and say, boy, we're going to win the national championship, boy, we're going to do that, that's your goal. That's what you ultimately get to. Well, how do you get there? That's just like this. Let me give you an example. If you're going to drive to L.A., all right, you're going to drive to L.A., start driving. Get out there and drive right now. Well, you got to find out. What roads do I take? What directions do I take? Where do I go? You know what I mean? Where can I go to make sure I don't run out of gas and get my next fill up so I can go to the next stop? And that's the point you got to get to these kids. That's where we want to go. But understand, now this is the map that gets us there. Now, what you got to do first is drive from point A to point B. Then go from point B to point C. Then point C to point D. And break it down for them so every day they know what's expected of them and what they got to do. And that's how you handle expectations. And then if I drive that whole way, guess what? I get to L.A. That's where you want to end up getting. So what I'm saying is, what we got to do is not let them get so focused on that, but what they got to do day to day to be able to get better at what the things they need to get better at, and then the expectations will come. And I think that's the way we have to handle it.
How big a challenge is that, though, for the coaching staff?
In what regard?
Just in, I mean, it's pretty natural for these kids that can watch ESPN all day long and hear how great they're supposed to be. I mean, how big a challenge is that for you?
Every day you remind them. When they come in there during the time that you have them, you maximize those 4 hours in which you're with them on those days, and you have it planned out that this is what we're going to do, and you explain it, and you hit them on it every day. And we talk about what our goals are every day before practice starts, what we're trying to accomplish today. Don't waste today. This is what we're trying to do today. This is what we're trying to accomplish. And you remind them every day. And then the things you'll see, if their expectations are out there and they're listening, okay. But if they're doing the things they're supposed to do every day, then it's okay. But if they start to drift from that, start to hear all that and do all that, you'll see as a coach when that starts to get away from you.
Do you think that happened last year at Oklahoma?
No. Then we got beat by a team that was more ready to play as far as where they were in the development of their program and where we were. And as I say, like what you see in our players right now, as I think at the end of the year they look back on it and they said, you know something, if we would just did this much more, we had a chance to really have a great season. It's just like when you first do something. Somebody new comes in, they tell you you're going to do this, this, and this. Well, you listen and you believe. But at the same time, you're skeptical the whole time. Because you to have faith and total belief in something takes a lot. It takes a lot. And so the point being is, they're listening, but you know, in the back, some 1/10, 2/10, whatever it may have been, they're going, well, maybe this will be just like it was before, you know, whatever. And then at the end of the year, when they all gathered it up, they looked back and they said, if we had a couple more plays here and here, man, we were 12, 13, we had a chance to have an unbelievable year. Well, they said, well, maybe, and right now what you're seeing out of them, say, you know, if we do, let's go back and let's believe now and buy in. And I think that comes with time and where you're at in your program. And I think that's what got us.
I'm curious, like, once the season ends, I know you hit recruiting and all that, but if you all go back as a staff, and how do you critique, how do you evaluate what y'all did last year?
Oh, yeah, well, we have self-scouting yourself all year.
Right.
And everything you do. And then you go back at the end of the year, the things you did well, things you did bad by your results, and then you go back and see, it's not what you did well, but why you did well and why you did poorly. That's the most important thing to understand. Why they failed. Was it scheme? Was it personnel? Was it the other team? Was it, you know, whatever it, was it injuries at that position at that particular time? Was it, you know, whatever it meant? Was it, could have been weather. It was a tough day to do that specific thing because of, there was a strong wind that day, there was a pouring rain. Why those things failed. And we do that in every facet of everything we do. Yes, and try to evaluate them where we think we need to get better. That's a lot of our off-season film study.
How do you break it down? Do you have the offensive guys subs
Oh,
out
yeah.
the defense?
No, we break it down all year. Like when you look at our board every year, with the game plan up, every 1st and 10 call, every second long call, every third down call, everything that I call in those situations, run and pass, percentage of run and pass, they're on the board every week that we run through. And then there's right beside it, success ratio. And I grade every play at the end of every game if it's a plus or a minus, if it's successful or not successful by our standards. And that percentage and what's up there on that board is. So the whole time we're looking at something 3rd and 7 to 10, we ain't doing very good. Why? You know that weekly, what you've done all year. So we need to work on that this week. We need to get that picked up. We could do that. Defense, same. And then we do it by formations. hit chart. This is what we've ran out of these formations. This is what we ran out of this personnel. This personnel has been this successful. This personnel has been this successful. This play has this many things going successful. This play hasn't been successful this many times. It's a running list that goes constantly year round. So at the end of the year, you know what you did, then you redo it again and break it down by all those situations.
Couple more questions.
What will the players do between now and Monday? Will they
Oh, we still got workouts today and tomorrow.
today and tomorrow?
Yeah, we still got finish our fourth quarter drills, and they'll hopefully rest up this weekend and